Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Kindness Habit. Our financial future is so important to our happiness, our peace, and also it's a way that we can be kind to ourselves. Our next guest is someone who is one of the top of the table of the $1 Million Round Table. And this is an international club. So this is a huge honor. She is an expert in her field. I have known our next guest for over 12 years. She is one of the most supportive, connecting business people I've ever met in my life. And when you end this podcast, you're going to start to think differently about where you're putting your energy with your kindness. So please help me welcome my friend from Portland, Oregon, Alice Tang. Alice!
Thank you, Allison, for having me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you. Alice and I go way back because Alice started a group called Women in Financial Services, which is WIFS. And Alice, I want you to tell the listeners just a little bit about it, some of your goals that you had, and how we met before we start the podcast about kindness.
Sure. I'm going to take everybody back to 2007. When there was no chapter of WIFS, Women Insurance and Financial Services, on the West Coast. None. Well, for one reason, we have only 13% of women financial advisor in our population, and still the needle hasn't really moved today, some 14 years later, but back then there's none. We did a research and asked about 72 people, women, one man, to come into a small meeting, just getting consensus. Do we need a women in insurance and financial services chapter in Portland? Everyone but one, not the man also support, says they want a chapter. So we started the chapter in 2008. And at the time, we have a lot of participation from local female advisor. Obviously, we also have male members. So one of the things that after I met you, Allison, because you were volunteering your time to do a lunch and learn for us, coaching us how to meet and greet people and remember their names.
Yes. Okay.
So at that same year, we, being the president, I decided that address the group, let's take this to the biggest chapter in terms of membership. And everybody's like, biggest? So where there is a will, there is a way.
Yes.
So at the end of that board meeting, we conclude that we have nothing to lose. We were the smallest. So we can stay small if we try. We have so much upside potential.
Yes.
So we made that decision. So everybody take up a small portion. Hit 10 women advisor that you know in the area and ask them to come to the paid event, not free event.
Yeah, you need some money.
Exactly. So my job is to hit the sponsors, ask them to just give us the money to supplement the event at a huge venue. So through that process, you were there too. You took a picture for me. I was so short because under 5 feet, I had to stand on a chair.
Yes, you did.
Yell at the group.
You always find a way to get people's attention, Alice. You are so dynamic when you are talking to people. But yes, you did stand on a chair. I remember that.
Yes.
And you hit your goal. You had over 100 members, correct?
Over 120 members at that time. We just give them a reason to sign up.
Wow. And that's a great example right there about the power of one person having this vision and then really empowering people to help everyone get to that goal. And it's just like one person can make a difference, tell 10 of your friends and then have them actually help you reach this goal, which was a fabulous, impact in the Portland community. So you've been such a pillar in Portland, Oregon, as far as connecting and supporting. We then later were connected through the National Speakers Association as you grew your speaking business, which was so fun. And so as we were talking today, I have my scorecard on kindness, about 10 areas in people's lives, starting with ourself, our partner, family, community members. We were talking about all these different areas of life. And you had in the last couple years a shift in where you have seen yourself really put the energy. So let's just paint a picture for the listeners as far as what you had thought about before the last couple of years, as far as where you're putting your energy, a lot of kindness. And then in the last 2 years, because this is going to be very relatable for a lot of people listening today, about your shift and why it's so important.
Yes, anytime when we do volunteer, you volunteer too for Children Cancer Association, you know that it's a act of kindness, because either you give your time, your money, or your resources, your energy to a cause that you believe so much. So just now we finished talking about women in insurance and financial services. Of course, I could not do it alone. I have wonderful people like Christy Allison, Maya Chase. Those are still your friends, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
So together, we just have this vision to impact the women financial advisors. So we want to be kind to them. Here is the resource. Here is what we have for you. Let's come together. 1 + 1 = 3, right? Imagine 120 members. So that's to me, that is a passion. But on the top of that, we really execute that kindness to our community.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes. So as far as running the business, and I'm one of the partners of my firm. And so bringing new members to the team, being able to be patient with them when they're learning, and also listen with presence of their idea is important, because everybody wants to be heard. Not every idea need to be executed.
Oh yes, for sure.
So that I felt that it's still a learning journey. I'm not there yet, but I felt being patient with them, holding the space. If there is a bad day, they make a mistake. I mean, everybody make mistake. Everyone.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So sometimes, a few mistakes, instead of just how did it happen 3 times in 3 days?
Right.
You want to really talk with them, close door one-on-one, and say, hey, look, honey, what's going on? It's not like you. Is there something? No, or pray for. And let them open up. Sometimes it's so personal. They wouldn't open up, but sometimes I would say 99% of the time, they would just tell me.
Yeah. So just being present, listening to your team members at your firm. And then, so you do this in the community, you did it with coworkers, and then you really realized in the last couple of years where you needed to put more energy. So tell the listeners more about that.
Yes. So in the last couple of years, life always throw you a curveball as a lesson to learn. So what happened was I have health crisis in my family, more than one. And that really, really changed the dynamic. As you recall, the last 2.5 years was pandemic. So to make it harder, even if you want to be there, you can't be there. And I pride myself as a very good businesswoman. And one of the gifts is when I know what is the end result, I just put, think about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think in bulletin points. Okay, so I'll give you an example. It's regarding my mom. She fell, so she needed to be in the hospital, and she refused to go. So everyone in the family, dad and my sibling, was upset, because if she refused to receive care, how do we know when the next time she's going to get hurt? That's so true. All right. So I'm so adamant. So I'm the convincer in the family.
Right. And also to let the listeners know that this is not in your same country. Like, she actually lives in a different country. So that makes it even harder to be able to communicate and have an impact.
And plus she is hard of hearing. So she lost hearing. So think about that. Complicated, but you want to get
so she fell. Done, right? she fell, she lives in another country, and she also can't hear very well.
Yes, yes. So
Yes,
dad,
okay.
fortunately, is a few years older, but super healthy, was able to be there. But mom always am in charge. Imagine where I get my personality from.
Mhm.
She called the shots because her mind is really sound. I want to go to the hospital. I want to do this. I want to do that. Okay, so there comes this time where dad couldn't say no to her. We need to use a sneak in way.
Mhm.
And we have an angel, a friend there decided that there is a resource online. And only to get the resource, you must qualify for it as a senior.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you can say, I take my big toe and I need all these resources. Somebody came to my home. And no, you need to be sure that, well, if you're hurt, you need to
Yep.
prove that you cannot do those things. So the
Mhm.
resource will come. So we use
Mhm.
that as a leverage. It's like you must exam to at least be sure what you're dealing with so that we can get there. Okay,
Mhm.
we were patient. But then she was asked to stay in the hospital for 7 days for additional review. There come the kindness part. She was kicking and screaming. And I want to yell at her, but I couldn't yell at her because she can't hear anyway. So I was talking to everybody on earth that has some kind of influence to her, but she's not budging.
Mhm.
And finally, I hit a wall.
Mhm.
And I thought, what am I doing wrong? If I interview 100 people forming a line, paint the picture of the current story of my mom, they will
Mhm.
agree with me.
Mhm.
But guess what? I woke up in the middle of night and said, am I missing humanity?
Mm.
Humanity is kindness. Have I ever thought about? Have I ever thought about how she's feeling? Have I thought about the reason why she's insisting?
Mhm.
And the night before I talked with my business partner, Jeff Owens,
Mhm.
he really gave me something to think about. He said, think about this. Your mom is in charge for her whole life.
Mhm.
She's really good at managing money. That's why you're really good. You learn good habits. She's in control. She's calling the shots. It's a beautiful thing. That's what Jeff said. Beautiful thing that she's so wanting to be independent.
Mhm.
And he left me with that. That's why I woke up and thought, I miss one piece. The piece is humanity.
Mm.
Humanity
Yes.
is kindness.
Yep. That is so relatable, to stop thinking about what we want and to really put ourselves in someone else's shoes and be thinking about how hard is this for them before we start to convince them with our idea.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm not there yet because you
Right.
don't change overnight.
Oh, yes. But even just for you to pause, for all of us to pause, because I also have some family members who are going through similar chapters right now. So just for us to pause and be thinking about how can we be more kind and patient and perhaps take a different approach to different situations.
Yes, yes. And in this journey, I'm just so grateful that my sister-in-law and family live there. My sister-in-law has been a great support, even though we can, see each other. But she always gives me words of wisdom. The last time we had an exchange in communication, she said the word disengagement. So detachment, not disengagement, detachment. She said detachment about what it should look like and detachment about the end result. Because really, who's in control? Nobody. Nobody.
Yep.
All you can say is, I try my very best to be really kind and empathetic for this situation. And you just need to take yourself out of the guilt trap by saying that, I haven't done enough. I haven't done enough. I haven't done enough. Maybe there isn't enough.
Oh my gosh, yes. When I do this, when I use a scorecard with clients, I do find that a lot of people rank family lower than some other areas. And during the pandemic times, we've had a lot more time, well, depending on what chapter of life you're in, but a lot more time at home and with family members. And it has made a lot of people stop and slow down and think about who is really important and how can I really put more energy into that. What would you tell the listeners as far as, because you are an extremely successful, I wrote down your official title here, a chartered financial consultant. You're one of the top in your industry. You're extremely, like I said, very powerful in Portland, Oregon's business community, as well as other communities, even on LinkedIn. And so business has always been a huge passion and focus for you. And so has family. But what I hear you say is in the last couple of years, you've kind of started to be thinking about your impact with family members and how important that is. So what advice would you give people? Because family is defined differently with all people. Some people consider friends their family. Some people have family, living in other countries like you and I do. So what advice would you give people as far as making sure we are really practicing kindness with family?
Okay, because of the health crisis that I just talked about, whenever we have such crisis, unless you don't care, and all of us, all your audience are good people, we care. It will help you to reprioritize your life. What is the most important thing? Who is the most important people? Okay.
Oh, yes.
When things are closing meaning I don't even need to start my fan. I'm selling, right? I don't need to fan it. It's selling. So you focus on, okay, what is the next piece of business? How can I impact my clients? I'm helping them to create a journey of financial security and success. That's all great. That's all great. And I'm just talking about me and maybe a few of you out there. Sometimes we didn't really take a look at the people closest to us, like our spouse, our family. If you have children, it's your children. If you have dad and mom or siblings, especially dad and mom, they give me my life. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here with you. So I felt that because of that shift, the one important thing is think about the people that you have taken for granted. You think they're always going to be there. And you think they are the first person to understand you. True. Otherwise, they pack and go already.
That's true.
The thing is, because of their patience and tolerance in the relationship, they need to receive the biggest award from you. The award of the top advisor, the award of a qualifier, of top of the table $1 million is important. But if I die today, I'm going back to your first book. I want the award come from the people that I'm closest to.
For sure. Well, I can relate to this in so many ways. My dad was also a financial planner his entire career. And when I have moved him in different homes, so he had a very large home and we moved him to a smaller house, helped him get organized. He had so many awards that he had won over his career. And you know what we did with those awards? We gave them to Goodwill. Because at the end of it's not the end of his life, but in the chapter that he's moving into, those awards didn't matter anymore. The business awards didn't matter. It's the people in your life. So yes, it's important, to find a way to make, a great living where you're financially comfortable. But you're right. The end of our life, it is all about people. So to prioritize them and figure out what makes most sense. So maybe it's a quick phone call or a text message or surprising someone and sending them lunch, or a bouquet of flowers, whatever they might like. But just thinking about who is really important, who's always been there for us, and then just making more time for them. So I love your insights, and also just to remind us that that's also being kind to ourselves, because then we don't have regrets because we have done everything, said everything that we wanted to today.
Yeah, try to hit your bucket list, especially share that with your family or people who, like you said, family could be your friends too, because they're
You're
just
right.
so close. But share it with
Yes.
them. Maybe they were going to say, "Oh, let's dive with Allison.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go
I
to
already did that.
Italy
Skydiving's so
together.
fun.
Let's write journal together and share and have a short Zoom meeting like this, despite of different countries or time
Mhm.
difference."
Oh my gosh, yes. I love it. Alice, if people want to get in touch with you, first, are you and your firm taking more clients or not right now?
We are inviting new clients with intention
Okay.
to our
All
firm.
right.
So please contact Alice at epgnetwork.com.
Okay. Thank you. And they can also find you on LinkedIn. Alice has wonderful videos and posts of content, inspirational messages always. But Alice Tang is someone who you want to look up. Your message today is so impactful because kindness really starts with the people that are closest to us, and that gives us more energy to be able to be kind in other areas. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And now it's all up to us. So let's all do at least one kind act with someone that you consider a family member. So thank you, Alice.
Thank you, Allison, for having me.